Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Have you ever had to buy something but you haven't crafted with it? Well, same here. I'm still guilty of that. So I decided to start a brand new series called Had to Have It but Haven't Crafted with It. This whole series is to A, inspire all of you to get out those craft supplies that you really wanted to buy but haven't crafted with it, and B, to get my craft supplies out of my craft room because all they have been doing is collecting dust and me not using them. So we're either going to do Cricut crafts or card making, whatever it is. I'm going to use up my material because I need to get it out of my craft room because I had to have it, right? So we're going to go ahead and start off with some Cricut crafts. I had to purchase these pink check vinyl rolls. I had this is permanent and this is iron-on, so we're going to use these both. And then I also had to purchase this really pretty floral puff iron-on, so we're going to go ahead and craft with all three of these. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first craft that we are going to do is we're going to use this pink check vinyl roll, and we're going to make a fun and cute Halloween wall decor. Okay, so I had purchased this came in a pack of 3 from Hobby Lobby, and I am going to place an insert in here because I like to reuse my content, and it would be easier for me to remove this as opposed to applying the vinyl onto the base of this and trying to remove that. Okay, so that's just what I like to do. You can also paint this if you want, but again, I really need to use this because it's been sitting in my craft room. So this is a little bit smaller than a 12 by 12, and I'm using craft board because it's a little bit thicker than regular cardstock. And I'm going to apply my vinyl onto my cardstock and then put this in here as my background. Now, before I cut this down to size to fit on the inside of this frame, I'm going to go ahead and apply the vinyl directly onto the craft board because I want to, in case I get this on crooked, I can trim it down because I have to trim it down anyways, right? So that's why I'm going to do this first and then trim it down. Okay. A little tougher than I thought. And I'm only going to expose maybe an inch off of the top here. So I'm just going to expose just a little bit because that way I can still get a little bit of wiggle room. And I am going to try to line this up as best as humanly possible onto my craft board here, my white craft board. So see, I'm a little off, and this is why, oh goodness. All right, oh shoot. Okay. Not exactly sure how I got that bubble. I was being so careful. That's all right. Oof, that might be an issue. Might have to redo it. So I'm going to pull this back. There's a little lever in the back, and I'm going to do it slowly because I am really bad about trying to put it on straight. I'm going to pull it out straight as humanly possible. Here we go. Might be slightly, oh come on. Let's get those bubbles out before it goes down completely and has no air, no way to escape. There we go. Now I did make it longer here, so that way it gave me some grace in case I really messed up, which I did here. I got that little bubble. I'm hoping I can trim that much off of my, I hope that there's enough for me to trim off that I don't need that much, which I don't think I do, or which is, okay, so this is actually going to be, I think I'll have enough where I can trim this part off because I don't think it's completely 12 inches, so it might work out. Now, yes, of course, if you have cardstock that looks like that and that's the look that you want to achieve, by all means, please buy that and then do what I'm doing. But again, I had to have it and I want to use it because I have not used it. So this is a little bit above 11 1/8. probably 11 and it's between 11 and an eighth and 11 and 3/16. So I'm going to try to take that much off. So this is the part that I obviously want to trim down. And in fact, I need to trim down this part here. So let me do that real quick. Okay, now that I have that all trimmed down, I'm gonna go 11, I'm gonna go in between an eighth and the 3/16 because that's basically what that is. And that part that I have an air bubble is on the part that I'm getting rid of. Now you could totally keep this, obviously not that part where that bubble is at, and use that for something else, or you can totally just get rid of it. So what I like to do when I have such a weird dimension, I always like to put it in there and make sure that it fits. Okay, so we're just slightly a little over, and that's okay, or a little under, I should say, and that's fine. Then I'm going to want to trim this part off because it has a little bit, I want Cricut, so I need to trim that part off. Okay, so I'm assuming this is 11 and 3/16 or an eighth, and then this should just fit in there like a glove, which it does. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out, I'm not gonna get out my glue, I will get out my double-sided tape and just add some, oh, did I? No, it's there. Okay, I thought I ran out. Some tape in some various areas. I think that should be enough. I don't want to put too much on there because, again, I want to be able to reuse this blank. And then I'm just going to put that down like so. Perfect. Now all I have to do is get my craft pick, peel that up, and I should be good to go. Now, once I apply, because I'm actually going to use foam for the design in here, so if it starts to be, if it's too heavy and it starts to lift, I'll just sneak some glue or my double-sided tape, which I think this might be, and then I'll just add, you know, more glue or whatever I need to do. Okay. I have this Silly Winks craft foam and in glitter. And then I also have it in whites. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the white first because that's what's queued up in Design Space. I'm using my Tech Wrap mat, and I am going to place it on my mat like so. Okay. This is from Hobby Lobby. And then also when you're doing foam, you're going to want to use your deep point blade. And I have to admit, I don't think I've used this deep point blade. So we're having like a three-fer or two-fer, right? Because I had to have it and I haven't used it. Okay, so you want to do the foam setting, and the thickness of this foam is 1.5, which it should cut with no problem. Okay, so let me get this all cut out, and then we will start to assemble our little wall decor. So I used the deep point blade, selected the craft foam, that's the glitter, because there is a glitter option, and it actually did a really good job. I am super thrilled about that. So there's this one, and here is my cute little ghost. Isn't she cute? Okay, let me get the black one cut out, and then we'll go ahead and put it on our little wall decor. And the black one just got done. Okay, there's my eyes. Like, I know my eyes are somewhere. Those are the eyes for the ghost. How cute is that? Okay, and let's just carefully peel that up. No fuss, no muss. And there we go. Boo. How pretty is that? Oh my goodness. And then you could totally use these circles for something. I don't know what you would. This one's kind of cut off weird because of the bee, but you could totally use these for something else. Alrighty, so the idea is to have Boo like that. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so adorable. Alright, we probably should find a way to glue this down. I don't know if I want to use my craft glue or if I just want to use a tape runner. I'll probably just do some tape runner, a double-sided tape I should say. And then of course you guys do, you know, whatever's in your craft room. Don't go out and buy this if you don't have it. You can totally use just regular glue, good old-fashioned glue, or even hot glue if you wanted. Although I don't know if I would actually, because that would leave it like some bead of glue. You could probably see it. That would make it look all weird. There we go. Okay. And I'm actually just going to use my glue for, I'm hoping the glue will adhere to the vinyl. I'm not entirely sure if it will or not, but we're going to find out. Now what you could have done before, well, I don't know, I was going to say what you can do before is if you have wide double-sided tape, like I do to make these craft panels for my card making, you could do that and then just peel this part off. But I don't know when you put this on the strong grit mat what would happen, so I don't know if I would advise that now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. I had some double-sided tape to the back of the boo. Okay, I think that looks good. There we go. And it sparkles. There's a little bit of dimension because of the foam tape. You could totally double this up if you wanted to even make it thicker. Or you could have used, if you're a card maker and you have foam tape, which, gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have done that. But you could cut a few layers or add foam tape to the back of this, or just recut this out a couple times to make it even thicker. That would be super cute. But hey, the whole moral of this story is I finally used that vinyl, and I only used it as a background, but hey, I used it. I'm excited. This is a great series that I'm so excited that I have started. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the next craft project. We are going to use this puff vinyl for our next craft. So the reason why I have not used it, and the reason why I actually haven't used both of them, or all three of them rather, is because it's a pattern vinyl, and I feel like pattern vinyls are so pretty and you get so excited about, and then you go to try to make something with it and then you're like, I don't know what I should do. And yeah, same here. Same here. I do struggle with that often. And let me get this tape off real quick. So you are not alone. I'm a little nervous because I'm actually putting this on here. I'm hoping it's not going to blend in too much. The only other thing that I had in my craft room was a black bag, and without going out and buying more, I'm going to use what I have in my craft room, because the whole point of the series is had to have it but haven't crafted with it, and this has been sitting in my craft room for God knows how long. Yeah, I was really excited about this and then just never crafted with it until now. Okie dokie. I am once again going to use my strong grip mat because it is puff vinyl, so it's a little bit thicker. Don't forget to mirror, although now Cricut Design Space does mirror it for you anyways, but just in case, you never know, you're going to want to mirror it. Hopefully my Explorer is not going to be too much of a distraction while it is cutting it out. While the design is cutting out, I am going to go ahead and lint roll my blank here. This is a sublimation blank from Cricut, in fact, but I obviously don't want to sublimate. I want to add my puff iron on. So make sure that you do, regardless if you're sublimating on this or adding iron on, that you want to make sure that you lint roll this. Just got done cutting. I'm going to peel that off. And I'm going to move that to the side. Let's see what it says. Set heat press to 284. It's going to want you to use a heat press but I'm not. I'm just going to use this and then just apply a lot of pressure. I am going to weed out my design here. Okay, put that in my scrap bin, and let's weed out the part that we don't need. Okay. Now, this is a Design Space image, and I will say that the letters, although it wouldn't be too hard to fix, but the letters are welded together and you would have to contour them if you want individual letters. And the reason why I'm even mentioning that is because the word smile is not connected to the blocks. Okay, and so what I had, there are two separate layers, and the M was not exactly centered, and when I went to try to center it, that's when I realized the letters were all connected together. Now I could contour it one by one and then move the letters and center it. I didn't want to have to do that. I just wanted to try to get it centered as best as possible. So you may see that it's not slightly centered in each square, which again, I was totally fine with it, but if you're not, then by all means, how did I get more dirt on there? It was just sitting there. Okay, then by all means, feel free to contour it out and then center it within each block. So 15 seconds, and then you want to remove the liner immediately. And then once you to put parchment paper on it and add an additional, I'm going to stand up to add additional 5 minutes. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this over, make sure I'm not getting my zipper pressed down with all my pressure. Okay, 15 seconds is up. Remove that. I'm going to peel that up. That is so pretty. All right, let me get some parchment paper. Okay, bring in my parchment paper. Right over here. 5 seconds. Okay, 5 seconds. And there it is. I know it's so hard to see, but it is really cute in person. It is it has a lot of texture to it, but it is so super cute. I was kind of thinking we were gonna run into not being able to see it really well. Could have totally done an offset and that would have worked too. But honestly, I think it's nice and subtle. It's super cute. Okay, let's go into the last project. And the last project, we are going to use the pink check iron-on style. I went ahead and trimmed this down to size. It's about roughly 8 inches. Or a little over 8. I'm going to put shiny side down, make sure that it's mirrored, and send this through the Cricut machine. Such a good feeling to have, knowing that I'm using stuff that has been sitting in my craft room for far too long, and I'm finally crafting with it. I am beyond thrilled. I highly encourage you, highly recommend this. Challenge yourself. Get out that craft supply that you really wanted or had to have and craft with it. And let me tell you, I knew that I wanted to start this series for a little while now. I knew I wanted to start this series for a while now, and I found the perfect stuff, obviously the vinyl, that I wanted to kickstart this series with, and literally it's been sitting in my to-do pile for a couple weeks now because I was like, okay, I still don't know what to do with this vinyl. And so it's been sitting there for a while. I'm finally, plus I just haven't been able to record. But there you go. Okay, so what we're going to do now that we have that all weeded out, this is such, so this is a little tote that I think this is from Michael's, and I say think because I had this in my craft room for God knows how long. In fact, I didn't even know that I had it. And I was looking for something completely different. I was looking for some fabric that I was going to do Halloween crafts. And when I came across this, I was like, heck yeah. This is definitely going to work in my series of had to have it and then haven't used it. So I don't know how old this is. This is probably a bit, this has probably been sitting in my craft room for quite a while, at least a couple of years now. Okay, so I'm going to do, it had a range, so I'm going to do 300 for 30 seconds. Okay. I'm going to pull this out. I'll flip this over, let this cool down on my glass mat, and then I'll peel the cover sheet off. I went ahead and applied 30 more seconds. Sorry, I've been teaching all day, and it's at the end of the night. My head is just not in it right now, and I've been talking dimensions all day and saying draw a line at 10 inches and da-da-da, and so I have like inches and millimeters in my head right now. Okay, not that you needed to know all that, but now you know. Alright, I'm going to peel that much better. Oh, look how pretty that is. So when you have patterns like this, when it's super busy, you're going to want to find something that is large in nature, and that way it kind of fills the space a little bit more. So you want to kind of keep that in mind. I debated on whether or not to just do a monogram or just do my letter R for my name, but I saw this design last minute right before I was going to hit record, and I just thought this was super cute and super fitting. Okay, let me bring in the other crafts. We'll take a look at them and we'll talk about this series. Well, I am so excited about this series because it is an awesome feeling knowing that you had to buy something and you never used it and you just did. So that way you don't feel guilty about those purchases, right? That they're just sitting there. Now you're using them. So this is a first of many. I may have several crafts, or it just might be a one craft wonder video where I'm just using a certain craft supply and bringing it to my channel to inspire you to do the same thing, and also for me to do the same thing as well. So, and it also, like I said, it may be a card because I have tons of stamps and dies that I had purchased. I would just wish there was more time in the day that I can craft, but I'm going to bring that into the series as well. So hopefully this will inspire you all to use that craft item or use that item that you purchased that you just had to have and you haven't used it. Well, let me know in the comment section which of the three is your favorite. Let me know if you're totally inspired or excited about this series. All right, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next card or craft video.